Alright, I'm a little late, so let's get started. Ooh, I think there's something on my... it's fine. I think there's something on my mouse. But we'll be okay. It's me, VTuber. Today we are continuing playing Oxygen Not Included. Whoa! I finally finished dinner. I was a little late because I was eating dinner. And I also finished my brief 10-minute lore video on the Horus Heresy. And it's actually a lot more... Excuse me. Just threw up a little in my mouth. It's a little more... well, it's a lot more interesting than I thought it was. Okay. But yeah, it's a lot more interesting than I thought it was. I was under the impression that... the Emperor was kind of like in a Pandora's box situation, where he was injured by Horus, but I thought he was kind of put into like a... He was put on the Golden Throne in an effort to kind of like stabilize his life. And I thought it was more like his death would be bad because humanity wouldn't really have anything to like look up to or fight for on the off chance he did die. Turns out that's not the case at all. Well, to an extent that is true, but it turns out that there's more to it than that, which I didn't know. So it turns out that he what? Oh, that's why. There's stuff up there. Anyways, it turns out that the reason it is kind of like a stasis chair, but it wasn't intended to be a stasis chair. It turns out that the chair was originally meant to be... Excuse me. The chair was originally meant to be a means by which the Imperium of Man could traverse amongst the stars safely. And the Emperor would kind of like sit on the throne in order to, you know, kind of facilitate the safe travel from his little headquarters. But it turns out that, I guess around that time is when... What the heck? Around that time is when Horus had betrayed him. So one of the Emperor's sons had tried to get in to warn him, and in the process of trying to get in, he kind of broke part of the Golden Throne. One of the parts attached to the Golden Throne, which had caused... Oh, welcome in. New vid from Warhammer is crazy. You know, it's funny you mentioned that. I was just... Excuse me. I just finished dinner. I was just watching a video explaining what happened, like... Because, okay, so I was lying down in bed a moment ago. I was gonna take a nap, and then I thought to myself, why doesn't the Emperor just, like, get up? Or why doesn't he heal, right? And I guess that question, like, I've known he's on the Golden Throne, but it never occurred to me before, like, why doesn't... I mean, he's powerful, just get up. I know that sounds stupid, but anyways. So I was watching this video explaining why, right? So, it turns out... Well, I know he's literally dying, but I'm like... Well, you know how, like, it said that the Emperor, like, respawns? Like, he can, like, die, but he's supposed to respawn, right? Like, he can come back to life. So I'm thinking, why are you trapped? If you're immortal, why are you trapped there? Right? Which, I mean, I know the reason why now, but a moment ago I was thinking, like, that doesn't make sense, right? So as I understand, he had originally made the Golden Throne as a means of getting kind of like safe transport for the Imperium of Man. And in the process of making the thing, it was like kind of mostly made, and then Horus had begun to betray the Emperor. One of his sons showed up. I guess he wasn't able to get into contact with the Emperor without blowing a hole in the wall, so he blows a hole in the wall of near the Golden Throne. And something like the Golden Throne kind of the only... Because of the amount of, like, the way that that throne works, because one of his sons had destroyed one of the walls... Welcome in, Whiffle Waffle. We're talking about Warhammer lore. Welcome in. How are you, Whiffle Waffle? Because the Emperor had... Because one of his sons had destroyed one of the walls, the Emperor is the only one that's strong enough to hold that warp hole closed. And welcome into Brave as well. Sorry, we're talking about 40k lore. Welcome to Horus Heresy lore, sort of. I don't know the Horus Heresy that well, but I know the gist of it, but I'm learning more. But welcome in, welcome in. Perfect timing. So, the Emperor, he's making this giant transportation device. His son tries to get in contact with him, and he's like, his son is like, Dad, Horus is gonna betray you. I can't get in. Hold on, let me break a wall. He breaks a wall. That wall causes this giant warp rift. So the evils of the warp are trying to get through to reality, right? So the only person that can kind of stop that is the Emperor, right? So the Emperor's like, oh, damn it, now I gotta stay here. And ultimately, he has a fight with Horus. The Emperor has a fight with Horus. This causes something like the Emperor can regenerate from his like soul or something like that, which makes him kind of immortal. But Horus managed to do damage to the Emperor's soul, kind of causing his regenerative abilities to kind of not really work quite right. That, and he's dying, and on top of that, there's this giant hole to the warp right next to the Golden Throne. So the lore video I was watching explains that the reason that the Emperor is stuck on the Golden Throne is, yes, he's dying. That is part of it. I mean, a large part of it is that, yeah, the Emperor's dying. He needs to be put on life support, right? However, he's also on the Golden Throne because there's a giant warp hole right underneath the Golden Throne. And the only thing holding that hole closed is because the Emperor's will is causing it to remain closed. So if the Emperor were to leave the chair, that hole would open, and it would cause a giant warp rift to consume all of Terra. So the Emperor can't leave the chair. And he's in stasis, so he can't leave the chair. And then on top of that, what was it? He's like the anchor point for something called the Astronomicon or something like that. I don't know too much about that, but as I understand, warp travel requires navigators. The navigators, the Emperor's power on the Golden Throne is so powerful that all the warp travelers can, like, all the navigators for like warp travel can sense the Emperor, so they have a reference point for where they're traveling because they know where they are in relation to the Emperor, I guess. But should the Emperor leave the throne, the anchor point for the Astronomicon is also gone, which means that humanity can no longer travel through the stars using warp travel because they don't have the reference point anymore. So there's a lot of different reasons for him being on the throne. I thought it was just that he was dying. So, anyways, that's why I was late. Well, I was eating dinner. Don't get me wrong, I was eating dinner, but that's also... I was watching that video. But Ruby says, his dear son's moment. And you know what? We still have Gilliman. He's gonna save humankind. You know, excuse me. I've only gotten into... well, hold on. I'll address that in a second. Brave says, ooh, Warhammer lore, and Whiffle Waffle says, I need to do a rundown of all the lore from the beginning because they added a lot to it. I don't know too much. I know, like, the gist of the Horus Heresy, but I don't know, like, the real specifics of what happened. I know, like, enough, you know? I know enough, but, there is more, like, intricacy to it that I don't know a whole lot about. Um, like when it comes to Gilliman, for example, I don't really know too much about Gilliman. I think he's the patriarch of the Ultramarines, but I'm not 100% sure on that. I hear there's interesting lore I hear about, like, there's only 2 or 3 patriarchs left alive or something for the Space Marines. And I hear that of all the Space Marine factions, there's like, I think there's like 21. Or sorry, there's 23, but only 21 are known or something like that. Like, I don't know the exact number, but I heard something like 2 Space Marine factions have been like wiped from people's memories, so no one knows who the last 2 Space Marine factions are. Just completely unknown. I don't know. But Wiffle Waffle says I've last looked at it like 10 years ago. Well, I only... I kind of wish I got into it earlier. I think now's a really good time to get into it. I started to get into it because I'm a Gears of War fan. I love Gears of War, and they just refuse to put out new stuff for Gears of War, so I was looking for an alternative to, you know, get hyped about something else. And then I saw Space Marine, and then Space Marine is what got me more into 40k. So, and then from there it's, well, Space Marine 1, Space Marine 2, Dark Tide. Rogue Trader, I finished maybe like 30%. I didn't get like super far, I don't think. And then the Chaos Gate Demon Hunters I meant to get into, but I didn't really get into it very much. But Ruby says, Warhammer lore is kind of complicated, just like how complicated Oni is. Yeah, it's pretty complicated. Right now, I'm kind of at a good place. I feel like, well, I'm at a good place in the sense that there's stuff for my guys to do, so I'm not too, like... I should probably give them... Well, they got a sweep, so I need them to, like, do a little bit of stuff, but right now I think we're generally not too bad. I hope. But Ruby says you need to play Space Marine 2. I did. I did play Space Marine 2. I started with... Okay, so I originally... Space Marine 2 had, like, just came out, and then I was like, I want to get into this game, but I want to know what's happening before I get to a sequel, so I played Space Marine 1 on the channel, and then I played Space Marine 2. And both of them were really good. They're both really good. And Brave says you're running out of water. A little bit. Well... kind of right, actually. You know, it never really occurred to me. I have to use water for these. So yeah, I should probably look for another... Oh, I guess I could keep going down. That is a option. Well, it's okay. Once we get low enough, we'll just... I'll just move this further down. And we'll just suck up the water from down here, I think. Third, I hope. I don't know, man. Overload damage? Damage overloading. Oh. It's a power thing. Should it be, though? Oh. Okay. I remember the problem I set up for myself last time. I needed to fix the wiring at the end of last stream, and then I didn't. That's the problem. I think what... Sorry, I'm coughing a lot. You're coughing a lot, brother. You okay? Thank you, Ruby. I don't know. Dude. So, I got sick, like, at the beginning of last month. I was out of work for, like, a week and a half, 2 weeks. Just because, like, I have to look at a calendar to find out. It's like last Monday or something. Ruby's over on YouTube, by the way. Ruby's on YouTube. 2 separate chats. Twitch is kind of strict about... Twitch is kind of strict about their rules, and I don't really want to get Twitch on my back. They're strict about they allow multi-streaming, but you're not allowed to combine chats. So if you do combine chats, I mean, if they do choose to enforce it, you can get in trouble. So for that reason, I only have Twitch chat on my screen, on my stream. But on YouTube, I keep both chats open on my computer so I can see both. But in terms of the ability to see, in terms of my ability to see, to put up chats on my stream, it's kind of limited. Anyways, but Ruby's gonna jump to Twitch already. But yeah, I've been sick for a while. Oh, welcome in, Ruby. Good to see you. Good to see you. But yeah, it's good to see you on Twitch. Nice to see you. So, but yeah, it's just Twitch rules. That's all. So, I got sick last Monday or something. I don't remember. It's been like a few weeks at this point, but I started to get a cough, and then by Wednesday it was like a cough, body aches, fever. The cough turned kind of painful. And then that lasted until like Fridays when my fever dropped, but then I started to get like major coughing, and I've been kind of coughing ever since. The hard part is that the cough, if I cough too hard, it makes my back hurt. So my lower back has been in kind of an unpleasant state. I don't know. I was considering calling out of work today just because my back hurt, but it's like, yesterday was the worst of it. Today is not as bad, but it's still kind of unpleasant. Anyways, it's just a lingering cough. Supposedly, it's not COVID. I thought it was COVID because of how much it sucked, but it turns out it's not. Or so I'm told. So the COVID test tells me. Anyways. But good to see my brothers. Good to see ya. Good to see you over on Twitch side. But yeah, I'd love to combine them if I could, but unfortunately with Twitch rules, I don't really have that ability. But yeah, I wanted to fix this. I think ultimately what I think I need to do is put them on 2 separate powers. Because the power I have set up here, there's a lot of draw to a lot of different things, and I think that that's kind of what's creating my problem. So here's what we'll do. I'm gonna sever this connection here. I'm gonna queue up a bunch of orders so that hopefully, my hope is that I don't have to, I can just let them go and we can continue talking. But I am going to have to think about this for a second. So I'm thinking, let's see. So I'm thinking the heavy watt wire is cool, but you can't run it through a wall or a floor. So we'll have to think about that. I think what I'll do is this. Oh, whoops. Cancel that. So then that way, everything relating to the water system is all on one circuit. And that way I don't need to worry about... it'll either be relating to the power here or... Well, actually... Okay, hold on. Sorry, just a second. But Whiffle Waffle says you've been sick a lot. No, ever since I got sick several weeks ago, it's all been one sickness. It's all one thing. That's how long it's been. But do you know what to do next in Oni? No. Well, I guess my main worry is that I want to make sure that we've got a good system going before I expand too far. My worry is making something that doesn't really work and then I overexert. So right now I'm trying to get a little more stable first before I think about continuing. But I know ultimately, if I understand correct, the ultimate goal is to make it all the way to the surface. And then from there, you want to make a rocket to leave. But right now I'm still working on like power and plumbing. I think it's kind of a mess right now. But let's... I haven't really thought about... We'll put a battery here, I guess. We'll put... We'll put one battery. We'll put one battery and we'll put 2 generators. Manual generators. I mean, I know that's not the most elegant option, but it is what it is at this point, you know? But yeah, I get well soon. Having cough is annoying. So true. Sorry you guys gotta hear my cough. I mean, if it were up to me, I, wouldn't have you guys hear my cough, but I have like this, I don't know if you can hear this, but it's a 70 drops worth of Hall's cough and throat relief. I went through the whole bag as of like a week ago, and I'm still coughing. But Wiffle Waffle says you might want to get that checked in case it's stuck in the lungs. So the thing is, when I originally got sick, I went to the doctor to get a doctor's note just so I could call out of work from all the coughing. And the doctor was saying that it's like, it's pretty common. This cold is going, or sickness or whatever is going around. And it's supposed to last a few weeks. So, might have to wait a little longer. It is pretty unpleasant, though. I think it really kicks up the more I talk. So the amount of streaming I do probably doesn't help my situation very much, but man's got to keep busy, so I got to do something. Got to do something. Anyways, I think that should be good. I think. One can only hope. Welcome into Alistor. How are you, Alistor? Say hello to Ruby, over from YouTube. I feel so bad. There was like... I'm just gonna tell you guys. There was someone in the Discord that joined, and I've been hit with, like, soliciting lately. Where it's just, like, people I'm not entirely sure are bots keep trying to sell me stuff. And I had this feeling that someone was trying to sell me stuff on the Discord. So they got the boot. I feel kind of bad about it, though. It's a little. But it has been a bit. You need some deodorizers in your base. It's not that bad. The main thing is that I need them to, excuse me, I need them to pick up the polluted water. It's emitting polluted oxygen. But yeah, they'll get there. That's the other reason why I'm trying not to give them too many orders right now, is because I want them to take care of the existing orders. Because there's a lot of orders. Like, even up here, it's like, they haven't even got there yet. Anyways. But were they trying to sell you on getting more viewers? No. Okay, so the last time someone posted their artwork, I was like, oh, that's really nice, and it was. And then, what was it? I can't remember exactly how this conversation went, but then I got a DM being like, oh, thanks for your compliments on my artwork, and I was like, yeah, of course, your artwork's really nice. And then, what was it? Then she said something like, would you like to see, like, my portfolio? And I was like, basically saying, like, well, if you're trying to sell me something, I'm not interested, respectfully. And then whatever response I got was kind of indicative that they didn't actually like read what I said. And then I just got like the whole portfolio, and then it was just a bunch of like kind of like art that I was like, is this really your art, mixed with like video recordings of people being like, I'm so glad to have done business with blah 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 blah, they're so wonderful and great, and I was like, yeah, okay. And then this is an today, well, yes, late last night, there was another message similar to that in the Discord, and I was just like, I don't think I want to deal with this right now. But it's two different things though. It's like if you're within our community and like, you know, hanging out with us and you want to show something off, that's different. That's completely different. If you want to show off your artwork, I'm totally fine with that. But if it's like, we've never talked before and you're trying to sell me something, I'm not interested. So, two different things. But yeah, that's kind of what happened. Anyways, but Wiffle Waffle says, that's why I don't keep a server, because I do not have the energy to moderate for those people bots. It doesn't actually happen that often. It doesn't happen that often, but when it does happen, I'm just like, come on. Please. I don't want to have to deal with this. It is what it is, though. But Brave says, would you like to buy some of my art? I got a couple of those. Oh, I guess... I mean, I respect the hustle, but I'm also, like... I don't really have a need for artwork right now, you know? So... Well, Wiffle Waffle says, yeah, I always have to go like, nope, I'm broke as hell, sorry. Well, I don't know. It's pretty funny, though. It's not that I don't want to buy. I have no money. Ruby says, I have an evil plan. How about you pretend to be interested in their work, then ghost them, JK? Well, I don't want to be, like... I don't want to be too mean about it, you know? I'm trying to be, like... firm, but respectful, you know? And I think being upfront about not being interested in whatever I'm being sold, I think is reasonable. But I don't know, man. It kind of depends. Kind of depends. We have more than enough beds. Why is someone sleeping right here? Why are you and your yucky lungs sleeping on the floor? There's a bed. Oh, unassigned. Oh. Wait. What? Okay. How do you know if they're dead, though? Like, I know the two Liams are dead. Oops. Anyways. Brave says, you're gonna get loads of DM from them like that. I don't know, like, where do they come from? Do they work together? Is it like, are they real people? Are they bots? Do they, like, have some kind of group? Do they actually give you something if you give them money? Are they just there to take your money? I don't, like, I'm curious to, like, know, but I'm not curious enough to actually pay money to find out. But, I don't know. It's just one of those things, you know? It's one of those things. I felt bad about... I always feel bad about banning, but... yeah, there's moments like that I'm like, I can't really... I don't really know if I want to deal with it. But Brave says, I didn't want to be a mean guy, but those DMs... I find that those art samples they gave me are like AI prompts from one pick. To give multiple picks, similar picks, it feels off in multiple levels. The last time I got one of those was it was distinctive enough that I knew it wasn't AI. It had that like human touch of a few like mistakes here and there, or not like AI mistakes, but like, you know how like AI art kind of, okay, so you know how AI art looks exactly like the Buzz Lightyear movie? Oh shoot, I just realized. I didn't even turn on my stream avatars. Sorry. I was so lost after having finished that Emperor thing. But, you see what I'm saying? Like, doesn't the Buzz Lightyear movie look exactly like the AI art template? Anyways, the art I was sent didn't look like that. It had like that human element to it. Like, I can tell that this is from somebody's like art portfolio. In that it shoot, sorry. Where am I overloading? Oh, sorry, it's the wire that's overloading. I have a question for you guys. What is the difference between current load and potential load? Is current load like what's currently going through it, but potential load is like if all cylinders are firing at once? Potential is 2040? Which I guess then brings me to my next question. If that is true, if the potential load is if everything's firing all at once, how do you know what's actively firing then? Because I'm under the assumption that, like, yeah, the coal generator's firing, so that's 600 plus 600. Actually, wait. I think I just answered my own question. 600 plus 600, 1200 plus 400 plus 400. So that would be 2000. Well, that doesn't make sense, though. Oh, wait, no, I think this is off. That might be off. The energy's depleted. In which case, that would be about 100... Or 1200? Or, wait. Sorry, I can do math. 1400. I can do math. But... but yeah, if it's 1400, that doesn't make sense. But correct. Load is what is using power currently. $240 times 4... Or, sorry, not... No, yeah, 240 times 4 would be... I'm just gonna look that up. I can't do the math for that right now. 960. And then I guess we have plus 180. So that'd be 960 plus 180. Okay, so then that's... Is that right, though? 960 plus 180 is 1,140, which is still 100 less than this, the current load. So that wouldn't be correct either. That's fine. I'll just... If we're underneath the thing, it'll be fine. Excuse me. Anyways. But Whipple Waffle says, I got a weird DM from a person trying to be buddies and ask about stream stuff, and I was like, I don't know how old you are. You can start streaming with almost nothing. Have a nice day, don't contact me again. Yeah, I feel that way too. I'm just like, yeah, I get you. I get you. But that's also why I put 18 plus on the Discord, and if I have the sense that someone's not 18 plus, off they go. Haha. But yeah. I know exactly what you mean. I think they blocked me because the convo was scrubbed and I didn't see their profile again. Oh my. But AI art has that uncanny valley where it feels like it might be real, but the more you look at it, the more stuff sticks out. Yeah. What scares me is that it seems like AI, not just AI art, but I feel like AI videos in general, they're getting a lot better with hands. That's the kind of scary part. But Ruby says, you don't know. You just cut off some of the machine, make a separate circuit. And Brave says the other way around, it counts the power consumed instead of generators. Power consumption. Am I just doing the math wrong then? 180. I must be... Well, this one's broken, I guess. But even then, the math doesn't work out if I subtract 240. That's fine. I'll just make a separate circuit. Well, actually, sorry, I forgot about this. Well, that doesn't make sense either. Damn. You know what? Let me think about this actually. What if I... Okay, so but the input, there's only one, the input wire is the same as the output wire, right? So I can't have like one thing going in and the other one going out. The wire, you can only connect one wire to the battery, and then that's like the input and the output, right? So, but Wiffle Waffle says, I'm on tiny screen, I can't help. Wiffle Waffle, no! And trying this game as a beginner is chaotic, but it is super fun. Yeah, it is pretty chaotic, but I am having fun. I'm just trying to think about it. So currently we're overloaded. Large power transformer. Energy from the left outlet is used by the right outlet. Yeah, but I don't know why this is showing up on my screen. I don't even think I have one. Oh, no, I do. Limits power flowing through the transformer to 1000. Connect batteries on the large side to act as a valve and prevent wires from drawing more than 1000. You know, this reminds me. Someone on YouTube commented on my my last video and said something like, I titled it Third Time's the Charm, and someone was like... I can probably pull it up, actually. What did they say? Oh, no, that's Ruby. That was Ruby. Whoops. Ruby said, it's gonna take more than 3 times for Oni to be the charm, my brother. LOL. Ah, yes. I was just like, didn't someone comment about... Yeah. Well, there you are. This makes a lot of sense now. This makes a lot of sense now. But, yeah. Ruby in the spotlight. But yeah. Third time's the charm. Ruby be like, no, no, no. No, it's not. I'll show you, Ruby. I'll show you. Once I figure out how this power transformer works, I'll make you eat those words. Limits power flowing through the transformer to 1000. Connect batteries on the large side. What? So white is consumer, green is producer. $1,000 Once I figure out how this power transformer works, you're toasted. Absolutely toasted. Welcome into Locked. Locked says, I've never played this, but with electricity, line equals coming power from source generator, load, outgoing power to various things you are powering, so your load should be able to add up to how much power is required to run each device, not total available power. 14-year doing plumbing, electrical. Ah, welcome in, Locked. Thank you. I guess the thing that's confusing me is the line's coming from power, incoming power from source. The load is outgoing power to various things you are powering. It's just, I can't get this math to work. The current load is 1040, right? 1040 watts. This is broken, so I don't know if this is actually consuming electricity, but this doesn't work. Because 240 times 4 right here is 960. I think. Let me double check that. Hold on. So 240 times 4, right? Yeah, so it's 960, right? But then that would mean the difference between 1040 and 960. The difference is 80, which means that in addition to these 4, there would have to be something that's using 80 power. And nothing here is 80. Nothing attached to this red wire is 80. Which is the confusing part. But I guess if you remove the 240 here because you just assume that it's damaged, then I guess you would get... If that were the case, you'd get 240 times 3, which would be 720. I feel like I'm back in college. It's 720, right? And then the difference between 1040 minus 720 is 320. And this should be on, because this is a refrigerator, so that, you know, like Brave is saying, refrigerators. So that should be 120. So I know that for sure is on. Which means that of all the things I can confirm are on, 1, 2, 3, 720, plus 120. 720 plus 120 is 840, right? So that I can account of the 1040 power, I can account for 840, which means that 200 watts are unaccounted for. But none of the remaining objects add up to 200 watts. Anyways. We're moving on. Anyways. But Ruby says, hold up, where are you guys from? Me? Hawaii. Pretty cool, huh? And current, you are proving that you are wrong. Thank you, Ruby. And how long have you been playing the game, though? Quite a lot on and off. Nice. Locked says, used to play Rust, and trust me, even I got confused wiring things in games. Like, I think it's really interesting. It is taking me a bit to understand how each thing works, but I do think it's interesting. I think there's a lot of unutilized space down here. And shoot, okay, I get the one thing I can't really... Damn it. You know what, let's I'll sever this for now, and we'll see if that makes it a little better. But I think ultimately what I'd like to do is I'd like to stack generators on the left side, and then I'll use the power transformer to make sure that it can't possibly go beyond what it's allowed to. I think that's what I'll do. I think. But Ruby says, I currently have a new world and named it Emperor's Great Crusade. Nice. Alistair says, you only need 1 mush bar maker too. In Wyoming, but I live in Missouri now. Nice. But yeah, I've been having people die of starvation, so that's why I have so many mush bar makers. But actually, now that you mention it, the refrigerator's full, so we might be okay. Brave says, at what I'm looking at, you have 2 mush bars being produced, 1 refrigerator, 2 gas pump. 2 gas pump. Well, yeah, I guess these are blocked, so... Wait, does that fix it then? So then it's 240 times 2 is 480, right? So we can account for the 2 gas pumps, plus 120 for the fridge, plus 480 for the mush bars, which would then... That equals 1080. Which is actually... That's a lot closer to 1040, but we still have a 40 watt difference. Well, I guess the electric grill is in use, which is an additional 60. But that wouldn't be right either, because then that gets us even further. Anyways, welcome into Patriot as well. How are you, Patriot? Patriot might not even be able to hear me. Patriot's mid-ad. But Ruby says, I don't think we need Mush Bar Maker at the beginning of the game, though. For me, I never use Mush Bar Maker. And are you guys American? Yes. Yes. But you have 65,000 calories each dupe eats 1 per cycle. Where do you see that? Oh! What? Okay, I didn't even notice that up there. Okay, I'm still learning how to read the thing. And math at stream. Not math in stream! Not math in stream! I'm watching stream to get away from math! And here it is! No, no, no! Oh shoot, wait. Let me think about this first. Okay, well, actually, first. Here's what we'll do. Since we don't need the mush bar makers, I was worried about running out of food. That's the reason why I have everybody just, like, really, really focused on making the food, is because we've had so many people die of starvation already that I was like, we gotta put a stop to that. So that's the reason why. But if they stop using the microbe musher, then in that case, we have more we can do. Okay. How do I want to do this, though? Actually, maybe what I'll do is I'll put the batteries at the bottom and I'll put the generators at the top. Does that make more sense? I think that makes more sense. And that would be perfect right now because there's nothing inside of this thing. So we will deconstruct that. I'll order the deconstruction of these. There we go. And then I'll move the batteries to the bottom, and then I'll make the transformer. There we go. There we go. I'm thinking. And thank you for the follow, Lock. Thank you. Also, how'd you find me? If you've never played this game before, how did you find me? But I'm glad you're here, Locked. Welcome in. But Brave says, I couldn't be American. Brave, no. And they figured how I'm American. How did they? Brave says you can use Shift D and select 2 wires to cut off wiring connection without asking Dupe to do it. Use this a lot when planning things and surprisingly useful at crucial times. Shift D. Wait. So if I... Wait. Shift D? Oh, I'm doing Shift F. Oh! Thank you. Interesting. But Locked is just browsing, like hanging out in smaller rooms. Welcome in. We're glad to have you with us, Locked. Glad to have you with us. I hope it begins to make sense. I'm still learning myself, so if you're confused about what's happening, so am I. I'm very confused. But 5 mealwood equals 1 dupe. You just need to plant the tree. They can eat it raw. I think I have some. And then I made some bristle blossoms just for the sake of Diversity. Growth halted by irrigation and body temperature. What? This plant's terminal temperature is 86.3 when it needs to be 86. Damn. Okay. Let me continue on. We'll get some dupes to take care of that. While they're working, let's think a little bit again about how we're going to proceed. So I'm thinking that what I ultimately want is a power transformer. Let me fix the... I just like having everything just be uniform. So we'll add the tile this back. And then when it comes to the power transformer, connect batteries to the large side to act as a valve. Right? So the green produces, right? So the left side is where the water or the electricity comes out of. Or sorry, it goes into and then out the right side. So ultimately, we want batteries on the left side. Which means if we construct it like that, that way I'll be able to do... Actually, wait, cancel that. Cancel it! No! Okay. We'll start with that. We'll start with this. While I rethink my strategy. Right. And then if I deconstruct these wires, I get all the resources back, so if I screw something up, I don't really care. It's not a really big deal. But yeah, I have 10 dupes, but there used to be like, I think I lost 4 already. Through trial and error. I feel like a little kid coughing with my mouth open. So if you go like this, then I guess we could... I can consider putting more there, but we'll just put that for now. You run through wall and floor tile. Buildings of power sources. Okay. So then if I connect the wire... The wire comes up like that. Then all the power generated by that would go here. And then it would limit the amount of power that goes out. I guess this is more of a learning experience at this point because all my problems have kind of been resolved with this. Whatever was overloading it before isn't overloading it anymore, so we're actually kind of fine. Damn it. Damn it! But you remind me when I used the transformer for the first time. I mean, it has a helpful, like, arrow diagram, I guess. But, I mean, if you look at it, right? Producer and consumer. I'm kind of like... As the white goes in, the green is out. I guess it's hard for me to translate the consumer bit to, like, the input. And then the producer to the output. I don't know. But Alistor says, Transformers still confuse me. When you start dealing with heavy and large Transformers, it makes sense to think of it as like a limiter. If I understand it correctly, I'm not sure I do, but if I understand it correctly, looking at it as a limiter makes a little more sense. Limits power flowing through the transformer to 1000 watts. Connect batteries on the large side to act as a valve and prevent wires from drawing more than 1,000. So this will limit the power drawn by wires, preventing them from incurring overload damage. Which makes sense to me. That does make sense to me. It's the part where should I dismantle these? I'll just leave those for now. I mean, it doesn't hurt to have those. How does this working? Oh, I was gonna say, how is this thing powered and the batteries aren't losing power? It's because it's coming out of the coal generator. That's why. Okay, never mind. But transformers step down high voltage to lower voltage to make it safer for use in standard equipment, which is how they work in real life. Ah, okay, okay. I'm no electrician, so I'm not sure. But thank you for the input. I think I'll do 2 batteries, just for the longevity of it all. And then I'll leave a little bit of space in case I decide to make like a larger thing, like a coal generator. I'll leave a little bit of space. Hydrogen gas to electric. I don't know if I have wood for that. Anyways. Okay, so a little bit of our water problem is solved. Sort of. This jumbo battery isn't really helping me a whole lot because the excess of the power... 400 plus 400. Okay, so it's 240 times 3. So 240 times 3 is 720. And 720 plus 120 is 840. So the power draw that I have attached to this plumbing system is actually 40 watts more than I'm actually able to generate. Dang. Brave says, I think transformers exist because big wire can't go through wall. So I got to separate big wire energy to multiple small wire energy. I need to think about the big wire energy too. Big wire to small wire. Oh, actually. I think you're onto something. No, I think you're onto something. I've almost formed a thought. Damn it. Okay, well. Shoot. What does a coal generator do then? In terms of power. Well, actually, never mind. Sorry. That was a stupid question. I know what it does, but... 600 is still less than 800. I need like 2 of these to successfully power that, so that's not really going to work. The power draw is too great. Damn. The train of thought never arrived. Not the train of thought. It was almost at the station. And then it left. Or it never showed up, no. Oh. Welcome in, Mouse. Thank you for the sub. I'm waiting for the sound notification. I don't know why the sound isn't. Any second now. I don't know what happened, but thank you so much for the sub. Thanks for the sub, Mouse. Thank you, thank you. How have you been, Mouse? How's work? How's life? Sorry, we haven't played Ready or Not for a while. I'm sorry. We do have to play that. We do have to play it, though. I should be free on Thursday, if you happen to be free on Thursday. But Mouse says, as my mother says, the train left the station without you. As it does. As it does. What was that other phrase? Something like, wisdom is chasing you, but you're faster, or something like that. But work is chaotic, as always. Not too chaotic, I hope. Not too chaotic. But, yeah. I'm glad to see you, Mouse. It's good to see you, as always. I hope you can join... okay, so... This Friday, I've kind of... The schedule for Friday is kind of up in the air right now, because I want to do both the Division 2 and Darktide. Currently, I have it split, so that it's half stream as the Division 2 and half stream as Darktide. But that's open invite, so if you're interested, I know we've played both of those together before, so if you're interested in that Friday stream, definitely recommend joining us. And Brave says wisdom is chasing me. It's kind of like an insult, like wisdom is chasing you, but you're faster. I heard the phrase before. Never like used against me, but what can I say? But Mouse says, but good, life's keeping me busy, started working out with some buddies, nice. And Mouse says, I'm down for either Division 2 or Darktide. Did you see the new coming AdMech class? Yes, I did. I did. And I'm very, very excited. I mean, I'm not really, like, the most knowledgeable about, like, Skitari or Tech Priests, but I do love Darktide. I've been waiting for new content. I haven't been playing it a whole lot, specifically because I'm, like, I thought it was over 400 hours, but I'm, like, 388 or something hours into Darktide. So I've seen my fair share of it, but I've been waiting for new content for a while, so this is kind of exactly what I'm looking for. Exactly what I'm looking for. But yeah, the moment it drops, I'm going to buy it. I'm really, really excited. Super, super excited, if I may say. But I'm excited because AdMech has some wild weapons in the lore. I hear, or the deluxe edition they advertised showed like 7 weapons or something. I think some of them were plasma based, so having more plasma weapons would definitely be pretty exciting. Definitely pretty exciting. So, but we'll have to see. I'm still waiting for them to put out more gameplay. Regardless, I'm gonna get it. Even if it's not that great, I'm sure it'll be fine, but even if it's not great, I'm still planning to get it. Kind of excited to check that out, so. But we'll see how it goes. We'll see. Sorry, I was looking at my power for a second. Why are we charging all of a sudden? Is it because the pumps are off? Anyways, but for example, the galvanic rifle, the basic weapon of Skitari, is an electromagnetic rifle. So, for all you Warhammer folks out there, what is a Skitari supposed to be in relation to, like, because the Skitaris, like, I know they're part, Skitari and Tech Priests are both part of the Adeptus Mechanicus, but the Skitari is not considered a Tech Priest, right? A Tech Priest and a Skitari are 2 different roles within the Adeptus Mechanicus. The Tech Priest being, like, non-combat role, whereas the Skitari is more combat role. Is that how that works? Because I heard something like Skitari is kind of like the infantry level for Mechanicus, or something like that. I'm not too sure how it works myself. But I was just telling, I was talking about, while I was eating dinner right before stream started, I was watching a lore video about why the Emperor can't leave the Golden Throne. Because it didn't really occur to me until, like, after I finished work today. I was like, why doesn't he just leave the throne? So I was watching this YouTube video while I was eating. But Brave says, what was that? Adeptus Mechanicus? Is that a real name? Have you not seen Warhammer 40k, Brave? Brave, I hereby declare that you must join Friday stream because you need to like get into 40k. Come on. But Locked says that's how I feel when when my friends talk 40k too. There's so much lore. I like to think of 40k as Star Wars, but the lore is deeper and the movies don't exist. That's like the best way I have to describe it. In that, like, it's kind of like if you were to jump into a Star Wars movie, or sorry, jumping into like a Star Wars like TV series, like it'll be like watching Andor from Star Wars, without having ever seen any of the original trilogy of Star Wars. It's kind of like that in that there's a lot of important stuff that happens in the lore, but almost none of it is like directly related to whatever's happening in your 40k story, you know? 40k is more of a setting in which stories are told in, as opposed to like a continuation of the story necessarily, you know? But Mouse says, Skitarii are the infantry arm of the AdMech. The tech priests are basically religious engineers, so Skitarii are the guys that guard factories, fight AdMech wars, and shoot people who bother the AdMech. Tech priests build, design things, conduct techno-archaeology, and fix things and set up factories. Okay. So Skitarii are infantry arm. Because I thought tech priest was like originally I thought tech priest was an all-encompassing, like, infantry role, but also an engineer role. I thought they were all I thought the Mechanicus was all kind of like one thing, rather than like several, not factions, but like several roles in one, I guess. Anyways, but Brave says, no dude, I'm late at the 40k train, and I don't really have any 40k channel I sub to follow. Ah, excellent. I've got my hands clapped together. I'm the guy. So now you're following a 40k channel. Well, sort of. I'm also really late to the 40k train. I've only started playing Space Marine 1 and 2 approximately 2 years ago, roughly. So I'm a bit late to it as well, but I play all kinds. Not a whole lot lately on the channel, but I am still interested in them. Oh yeah, so once Total War Warhammer 40k comes out, I'm gonna need to take 2 to 3 weeks off from work. I don't care if it's unpaid. I'm gonna have to stream the whole time, and I don't know, man. The outside world is never gonna see me for the next 2 to 3 weeks after Total War Warhammer 40k comes out. I'm so excited. But Locked says, I tried to learn some. I do know that Trazen is wicked. I haven't heard of that. Is that one of the Chaos faction? Or Ruby says, I thought people like Warhammer. Excuse me. I thought people like Warhammer because of the complicated lore. I think so. I think Warhammer is exciting because of the amount of stories told within it, and there's a lot of good places to jump in as well. Oh, the Trazen the Infinite, Necron Overlord. I see. You know, I haven't heard a whole lot about the Necrons, but I heard they like... Welcome at the Giggles, by the way. Welcome in. Marathon stream. Oh, yeah. But yeah, I'll have to play a lot of Total War. But, I haven't heard a whole lot of the Necrons. I hear that they... Something like they sacrificed their souls for immortality or something like that. And now they're just like mindless robots almost. Something along those lines. Is that correct? But I mean, yeah, but when you're coming in with fresh eyes, and this flying Skitarii, nice. And no, don't clap, I have enough lore I'm following. Brave, no! And Mouse says, Trazen the Infinite is a Necron museum curator that goes around the galaxy stealing things and people. Ah. He collects powerful things like Pokemon. Nice. Ah, yes. A true classic. But yeah, I know like just just enough to, like, enjoy myself with 40k, but I definitely need to, like, set myself down and... Or at least if I have a hard time sleeping, I gotta put on, like, an actual 40k video, I think. To try to learn what I can from the lore. But how are you, Giggles? I thought you were working tonight. Are you not... You not working tonight? Giggles is a... Okay, so... I'm gonna involve you guys in... me and Giggles talks, but... Giggles is, like... one of those people that just, like... loves... to babysit. Maybe not babysit, but... Well... I guess so. She loves to do things like... in a similar vein to babysitting or watching over kids. And I've been telling her she has to get some kind of, like, camp counselor job. And I need you guys to get on board with this. Please encourage Giggles to chase her dreams. She, wants to be a mom, you see. And thank you for the follow, Ruby. Thank you, thank you. I don't know where my notifications are tonight. I see them in chat, but, like, they're supposed to be, where is that? There's supposed to be, like, a visual notification on my screen that shows that you followed, so I'm sorry that that's not appearing. I don't know what's happening. It should be there. But thank you so much for the follow, Ruby. Thank you, thank you. Much appreciated. Much appreciated. New buildings have become available. Deodorizer, carbon skimmer, and a mechanized airlock. Let me take a look. Deodorizer uses sand to filter polluted oxygen from the air, reducing disease spread. Alright. Alright. Where can I... I'm gonna overload the thing again. We'll just put it right there for now. I don't really care. If it overloads, it overloads. It's fine. We should be fine. It doesn't say what the... Excuse me. It doesn't say what the power draw is, though. I guess we're about to find out once it's connected. But Ruby says, just realized I haven't followed. Excellent, excellent. One of us. One of us. And Giggle says, I love the babies. We just need to find you, like... Oh, it's only 5 watts. That's nothing. Okay, nice. But Locke says you can do in-home daycare up to a certain amount of children without a license. I think the laws vary depending on where you live, though. I think... Well, I think the last time me and Giggles had this discussion, Giggles was saying that, like... Well, without saying too much about Giggles's IRL life, she lives in... What was it you were saying, Giggles? You live in, like a rich location where she feels a little afraid to attempt to apply for that kind of thing because she thinks that she lives near rich parents who would want to, like, hire nannies who know, like, multiple languages or have, like, certain certifications, which she doesn't have, or something like that. I think that's what Giggles was saying. I think that was Giggles' main concern. Is more so the competition for nannies. Which I think Giggles is I don't think Giggles needs a license or any sort of qualification. I kind of feel like Giggles is one of those people that just, like... You ever... It's like, you know, like, Miss Rachel? Giggles is like Miss Rachel. I think the kids would just love Giggles. So I don't think certifications are going to be an issue. Because if they just meet Giggles, I'm sure it'll be fine. Anyways. But Mouse says either camp counselor or elementary school teacher or daycare center worker could be good for you. So true! I think you might need a bit of classes for elementary school teacher, but camp counselor definitely. Maybe even daycare center. Yeah. And your bassist. Okay, so I'm hoping... I don't know how efficient this is going to be, but right now, this room is clean. You know? It's not super stinky. Might be a little stinky, but it's not super stinky. It's only a little stinky. But he is training the dupes just like how they train Space Marines in difficult environments. Yes, yes. You see, I'm putting them into very difficult situations with the hope that... Oh, they're out of water. I'm putting them in difficult situations with the hope of trial by fire. And hopefully by attempting to survive in such a harsh environment, they will learn the skills necessary to live. And if they don't learn, they will die. It is unfortunate, but it is what it is, you know? Anyways, we're out of water, so I'm gonna move this to, like, the next location, and I'm just gonna hope that we have enough. We're gonna run out of food. But yes, harsh environments birth strong warriors. Exactly. Oh, the other thing I learned about 40k, so I heard... Okay, I heard this from, like, an Instagram video, so I don't know how true this is, but, like, I saw this video that says that in 40k, humanity keeps worlds that are untouched by technology and corruption and, like, alien life. They keep these worlds in, like the medieval era. And what they do is, these are, like, agriculture worlds that will just constantly farm food for the Imperium. And something like whatever humanity force that's, like, watching over the agriculture world will just kind of let them fight amongst each other. And anyone who wins, like, a massive battle will just get, like, handpicked by the Space Marines to just become one of the Space Marines. Because they already know that, like, oh, this guy's powerful and he's, you know, trial by fire, so let's take him out of the agriculture world, make him into a Space Marine. I don't know how true that is, but that's what I saw. It's pretty interesting. Supposedly, since all the food in that world is all kind of nasty, the agriculture worlds are kind of treated as, like, top of the line Wagyu beef, sort of, for the nobility. Pretty exciting. Increased air consumption rate. Increased excavation, but cannot do research, bad agriculture, bad decor. Critter aversion, cannot do cooking. Insanely stylish. I don't know if stylish, no, whatever. Yeah. It's fine. But yes, it is Giggles. Underqualified, but the passion is there. Get hyped, come on. Get hyped. We need to get you a job with kids, Giggles. My bestie, so true. Mouse says you never know until you try. You would think you need an impressive repertoire, but at least an associate degree will work for a Mayo ambulance, but here I am working for the #1 hospital in the world with no degree whatsoever. Dang! I thought you had a degree, Mouse. Nice. The moral of the story is you never know for sure. A job will reject you until you apply and you're not out anything but time for applying. So true. So true, Mouse. Giggles is, like, the most charismatic person I know. So I know that given the opportunity to just, like, meet an employer, I'm sure she'd get the job. I have no doubts she'd get the job. You know, my first job out of high school was watching over elementary school kids. I was, like, a camp counselor for a time. And let me tell you, I'm really bad with kids. I'm really, really bad. And I think, well, I think it's in large part because my voice doesn't carry very well. It's hard to order around a bunch of kids when you sound like I do. My voice just gets drowned out by all the screaming, so... Anyways. But all this is to say that if I can do it, so can you. I say, pointing at my monitor. Locks liquid and gas flow. Manual airlock with no power available. Interesting. Uses water to filter carbon dioxide from the air. What? That doesn't make sense, though. I mean, it... Yeah, skimmers remove large amounts of carbon dioxide, but produce no breathable air. So then... Anyways, whatever. I'm not going to worry about that right now. But thanks, friends. You're really giving me a boost. I can do anything. So true. The next couple of months, I'm going to give things a real go. Let's go! I got a toddler that loves parks. Oh, Ruby says, thanks for the warm welcome, guys. I'm heading off now. Have fun. Alrighty, Ruby. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your night. Thank you for joining us. Have a good night. Thank you for the follow. Thank you, thank you. Hope to see you again. I'm going to prove you wrong, by the way. I'm going to prove you wrong. This third time, I'm going to get off the planet. But I got a toddler that loves parks if you want to come babysit. If you need any help navigating Application World, send me a Discord DM. I'm willing to help in whatever way I can. Oh, let's go! You're so kind, Mouse. I really appreciate this. Funny you should mention it. I also happen to love parks. You really are a magnificent mouse. So true. Locked says, I thought the same thing until I had kids. I'm normally a quiet person. Then I realized I do have a dad voice. I think you develop it more over time. Like, I feel like, I don't know, like, maybe it's just all my time streaming, but, oh, Ruby says, it is daytime for me, guys, lol, but have a great night. Have a wonderful night, Ruby. Or, wonderful day. A wonderful day. Thanks for joining. Thank you, thank you. Ruby's on the other side of the planet where the sun is. But dad voice is the most magical thing. Dude, dad voice is the scariest. One of my coworkers, he's 40. He like, you know, he talks to me and all the other guys at work like normal. He was like a young dad, so he was like a dad when he was like 16 or something. So he's been a dad for a long time. What was it? The other day, he was on the phone with his son, and his son was, like, pissing him off about something. And he went from talking normally to switching, and I don't even know if I can do it. Like, I feel more, like, commanding as I get older, but, like... He went from talking normally to being like, hey, no, we're not. No, we're not doing that. And I was like, whoa. Like, my anxiety spikes, and I'm like, what? I don't know, man. But ooh, he's 40, now I feel old. No. I do make fun of 40 being old, but no. 40 is still young. 40 is still young. I feel old. I'm not 40 yet. But, have you thought of being one of those park rangers or nature conservationists that conduct children's programs at library? Oh, that'd be super fun, actually. To think about it, I also don't feel like I have enough environmental knowledge to do that. Well, you can learn on the job, you know? I have a habit of counting myself out, but I'm working on it. Dude, can you imagine what it would be like? Picture this. Giggles... Sorry, I might have to get more water soon. Giggles walks in to, like... Imagine this. A library room filled with elementary school students. Giggles walks in, dressed in her safari attire, and proceeds to show a bunch of kids all the, like, pictures of animals that she's been, like, watching or something like that, and telling them about the plants and the animals and whatever. I think that'd be pretty exciting. I think Giggles would like that a lot. But Mouse says, I thought I didn't have a dad voice either, then I became a medic. Rarely do I break out of the dad voice, but occasionally a patient forces it out. It's just that switch. The switch from, like, talking normally to just, like, the commanding. I'm like, oh. But Locked says, my oldest is 17, and it doesn't work so well with that attitude. When you guys were young, did you guys have, like, a rebellious phase? I don't feel like I did. Oh, you know, okay, actually, sorry. Unrelated, but somewhat related. I had to. I was looking for like this keyword in my my emails today. And I came across a draft for my algebra teacher in high school. I don't even remember what the point of what I was trying to say was, but like, I sent it to myself. I don't know if I sent it to her, but it was saying something like, it was saying something like how I got a D for my latest test, but I don't feel like it's deserved because I can do the work or something like that. Which is funny because that's not how I remember myself in high school. I thought I was very well spoken in high school. But my email, the email I drafted made me sound like a toddler, so I'm like, oh, damn. Cringe. Major cringe. I'm cringing myself several years later. No. It was supreme cringe though. Like I haven't felt cringe like that for a while. And I feel like I'm very like it's very hard to cringe me out, but that was cringing me out. I couldn't handle. I was like, yikes. This is... I feel sorry for whoever had to deal with me when I was young. When I was but a wee lad. Let me deconstruct that. Be like Kratos and just say boy. Boy. Mouse says, join the club on that one. I've learned instead of overthinking all the things that could go wrong, just say F it and go for it. So true. Sounds like a dream. You're right. F it. Locke says, not that my parents know of. And Giggle says, it was like 90 to 21 for me. Brave says, same. Mouse says, the worst rebellion I did was goof off during study hall and watch YouTube. I grew up very sheltered. I'd say I grew up pretty sheltered as well. I think when I was around like... When I was around 14, 15, I entered my, like, hyper-religious phase. So I didn't really have the, like, acting out bit that most teenagers have. But I think I had more of, like, a... whoops. That's the wrong thing. I had more of a, rebelliousness when I was in college, I guess. Sort of, if you could even call it that. But I was more into like punk music, but I wouldn't really say that I was a punk. So, anyways. I did become more of an angry person when I got to college though. I was very carefree in high school. And now that I'm past college, I'm like, I don't have that anger in me anymore. But anyways. But Locke says, my best friend in high school had a basement bedroom with his own door in and out, so if I wanted to go do something I wasn't supposed to, I was spending the night at his house. And I just crashed there even if he wasn't at home. That's pretty cool, actually. It's pretty cool. A basement bedroom with own door. Dang. That's a crazy... Sorry, I'm thinking about... Excuse me. Sorry, I burped. That's a crazy layout, actually. I've only seen that, like, one other time. But that is crazy. But Mouse says, at 9 to 21, I was getting my EMS certifications. I didn't have time to be rebellious. Mouse is like, I have the grind. I've got the grind. But I get you, though. I get you. It is good to... The less rebellious phases, the better. But I will say... 'tis a rite of passage sometimes. 'Tis a rite of passage. Where is my... There we go. Here we go. Now it's just a matter of waiting, I think. I need to figure out what I want to do with that. This is kind of a waste of power, but it doesn't really matter, I guess. Well, I guess we could use this to boil the... Actually, the germs are kind of gathering right now. Anyways. But Locked says, I had my first kid at 23, though. Not bad, not bad. Would you have preferred to have a kid later? I feel like when I was 23, I feel like I barely had the discipline to feed myself, so I can't imagine having a kid. I would, that kid would not be well supported by me. I was, not very... Even to this day, I still feel like I kind of put off eating. I get kind of lazy. But Giggle says the EMS program is no joke. So true, 16 hours of class and 32 of clinical a week. Dang. And Locked says, don't get me wrong, I love my kids, but after 2 divorces, I get you. I get you, Locked. I don't know. I guess in my timeline of life, I usually don't give up my exact age. I'm in my late 20s, but at this point in my life, I was thinking about more like... I would have thought that by this time in my life, I would have a long-term girlfriend by now. I'd be thinking about marriage around the age of 30. And I haven't been on a date since January. So, I don't know. Things are... A part of me is like, if I'm ever going to have kids, now's the time I need to start thinking about my future. But at the same time, I'm like, I do enjoy oxygen not included. Do I even need children? You know, it's tough. But Giggle says, Jinkies, even when I was young, I knew I'd have kids later in life. I've kind of flip-flopped on it. I mean, I've said this kind of recently, but like, I feel that... sorry, there's a lot of toxic air down there. Let me fix that real quick. But I feel like not having kids is going to be one of my greatest regrets in life. So I feel like I should have kids. But at the same time, I don't feel like it's right that I have kids just because I feel like I'm going to regret not having children. You know? I feel like you should have kids because you want to have kids, not because you'll regret not having kids, you know? At least for me. So I think that's kind of hard to understand how I truly feel about it. But Locke says, I don't blame you. The dating scene is a horror show right now. Dude, it's terrible. I'm not enjoying myself in the dating scene. I don't know. Like, even, like, I'm on dating apps. Even getting a match is, like, impossible for me. It just doesn't happen. So, kind of sad. Kind of a sad world. Welcome into Error. Dating scene, a horror show, I hear. It's genuinely awful. But welcome in Error, how are you? How are you? Welcome in. If I don't find love and marriage in time to have kids biologically, I'm adopting. Ah, nice. You'll make a great mother, Giggles. And Mouse says, join the club, Taku. I thought I'd be in a long-term relationship by now, but my only real relationship was about 2 months long, and I haven't been on a date since that ended. That one's so real it hurts. That one's pretty real. But I've been on, like, dates, but all the difference between me and you is that I've been on, like, the dates, but that 2 months thing kind of hits. That one kind of hurts. I feel that one. All the dates I've been on, they haven't been, like, they're, like, okay, I guess. I don't know. There we go. Now we're getting some real water pumped in. I think. Is the water even going? Wait, that's the wrong one. Where's my pump? There we go. Oh, okay, it is moving up. It's just, it's taking a while to get there. That's the thing. Okay, that makes sense. But I've noticed people don't know how to communicate. Yeah, I get that. Before this past January, the date I went on before that, like, I was having a really hard time. Like, I felt almost like I was talking to myself. Like, I had to carry, like, a majority of the conversation. I'd ask her questions, but she only asked me, like... What was it? She only asked me, like, 2 questions. But other than that, if I stopped talking, we wouldn't be talking. It was tough. But Giggle says, maybe wait some time closer to you having kids and see how you feel about being an uncle. And I went on some dates recently. Nice! Let us know about them, Giggles. Did you not tell me about the dates? And Mouse says, I firmly believe God sends what he sends when he sends it. So true. Amen. Says Giggles. Alistor says, only topic, I'm about to use the second vent and first geyser of my entire time playing. Nice, nice. I don't know what the vent means, but nice. And also marriage and kids are great, but if 'tis the wrong person, or you aren't ready to, then things get harder. But having kids and a spouse is amazing. Yeah. I think I'm very much like a family man myself. Family's very important to me. I feel like I went away for college for so long that, you know, being away from family for so long has kind of taught me how important family is to me. And I think that family's something I want in my future, you know, but I also have family now, so it's kind of like, It's hard to want something that I kind of already have in a way, you know? But Era says, sorry, I'm a little behind, but the dating scene is really disappointing. Dating apps, I'm not a fan. Oh, thank you for the hydrate. I don't have water, but thank you for the hydrate. I'll grab water soon. Error. Dating scene is really disappointing. Dating apps, I'm not a fan. Dating apps suck, man. Like, I have never felt more unwanted than since I joined a dating app. But the right person makes all the difference, so true. Dating apps make it worse, I think. With all the technology we have, people aren't as connected in the ways that matter as they used to be. So true, Locked. So true. I mean, I'm not... Even without the dating apps, I'm not super talkative. I can monologue on stream just fine, but when it comes to talking to, like, people face-to-face, it's really, really bad. When I talk to people over voice, I'm not that great. But... I get what you're saying. Even without the dating apps, though, I feel like I'd be pretty terrible. But, was one of them what you do for a living? Says Locked. What? I don't remember what I said already, sorry. But since we're talking about dating, top from my personal experience, don't date immediate coworkers, rarely ends well. Watch me. No, I'm just kidding. I agree, though. I agree. Giggle says, that's why I've been MIA. I've been on 4 dates in the last week. Whoa! How's that going? The last I heard of Giggles' dating life, she was talking about, what was it? She got a voice note from a guy. The guy was trying to do like a really grovelly voice, and he was like, I want to know what those lips taste like. And then it's pretty nasty. But Era says communication is necessary. You don't want to be on a date talking to a brick wall. So true! So true, Era. So true. I kind of want to play that audio on stream now. I gotta find a way to get that as a sound clip. I want to know what those lips taste like. Like, when... Even if you knew Giggles for like a million years, that's still not seductive. It's just kind of like, yikes. I feel like you could be married to your spouse for like a few years and that voice note would still be kind of like, yikes. I think this thing's working, the deodorizer. Working in this room, at least. But, Alastor says, my wife just found someone who can't hear her, so she always yells at me for not listening. Nice. Listen to me! Locked says, even when I get matches, I'll reach out, and if I only get one-liners or they don't reach back out, then I let it go. I don't want to feel like I'm the only one putting in effort. Been there, done that. Exactly! Exactly. Yeah, for me nowadays, the problem is even getting matches at all. But even before that, when I would get matches, I don't know, man. It's kind of hard to move past the one-liner. But Giggle says, the guy I've been seeing the last couple of days is such a hippie, lives a nomadic lifestyle, and drums in a band. Such an interesting guy, he makes me laugh, and we went dancing and had pizza yesterday. So far, so good, but Taku, I gotta show you his pic so you can analyze and tell me if he looks crazy. Okay, so Alastor says, if you need a second opinion, they crazy. So Giggles has this... So Giggles' last official boyfriend, his story wasn't in the news, and you can't find it, right, Giggles? I don't know how much I should say about it, but... So, when I first saw him, I thought that he... You know, like when you see, like, a news story that's like, crazy person arrested for, I don't know, skinning someone's pet, you know? And then they show the mugshot, and it's like somebody that has, like, the lifeless eyes that have no thought behind them. Giggles picked one of those guys for her boyfriend. And I thought this for a while. Anyways, a few months into their relationship, he went off the rails, hallucinated. Well, sorry, not hallucinated. He had this, like, grand delusion that Giggles... I'm gonna keep this really vague, but he had this grand delusion that Giggles and a bunch of famous people that she and he have never met before are all waiting for him so that they can go and get married. So he proceeded to break into where he thought was the place that Giggles was going to meet with him, and then he proceeded to get arrested. It was a lot. But anyways, but yeah, I can just tell. He was also high. It's funny that you mentioned never been that high. He was also high, but there was... okay, so he had, like, severe unaddressed mental illness, which is not something I blame him for. But he also was doing things outside of that were irresponsible, that contributed to that problem being significantly worse than it should have been. So therefore, that's what I blame him for. I don't blame him for the illness. I blame him for the issues surrounding that he wasn't addressing. Anyways, changing topic. But did you play it before you want to call it? Did I send it? And some guys really do make us look bad when they do stuff like that. It happens. But Giggle says, I pray I sent it. I unmatched right after, so it's gone. Taku has a gift. He can pick up on crazy vibes immediately. I can tell. I feel bad because it's kind of judgmental, but I can tell. But awkward is not a bad thing, in my opinion. Nerdy great, so true. Mouse says, it's not just guys. My ex-girlfriend tried to do that voice once. If you guys are like a couple, then it's a little more okay, but when it's like you you've messaged like 3 times, and then somebody's like, I want to know what those lips taste like. It's like, okay. Whoa there. Let's dial it down a notch. And welcome into Stefan. How are you, Stefan? Welcome in, welcome in. And Locked says, I went through a phase where I had to swipe right on everyone and waited to see who matched. It was depressing. I'm really picky about who I swipe right on, so... Thankfully, I haven't had that reality check yet, but the moment I have that reality check, I think I'm just gonna bed rot for a few days. But Giggle says, if I recall correctly, it wasn't in the news, but when stuff like that goes down, they try to keep it under wraps to avoid copycats. Okay. Understandable. Poor Giggle, so true. Matches are a non-existent for me. Non-existence for me? Yeah. Me IRL. For women, doing that voice well, for both men and women, have to do it a certain way in order for it to be done well. Yeah. He didn't do it well. It was very uncomfortable. But Giggle says, you can tell it was nuts. Oh, Giggles, the stories you can tell. Don't do drugs, kids, they're really worth it, though they are a good way to meet PD and paramedics. Here's a drug, a one-way ticket to meeting the police department and the paramedics. Giggle says, he went to a hospital helipad thinking I was there, then he went to the airport, pulled a fire alarm, someone found his way onto the tarmac before TSA arrested him. Yeah, or somehow found his way onto the tarmac, yeah. That kind of thing, I feel like... The delusions aren't his fault, but... There was a lot unaddressed in relation to that I feel he does become responsible for that. But is there a way to play it into the mic? Do you have it? Do you have it? Stefan's doing alright, nice. Locked says, FYI, the average match rate for men on dating apps is about 5.3, while the median match rate is even lower at around 2.04. Awesome. Excellent. Okay, I'm gonna try to play it, but I make no guarantees. I might screw up my VTube studio if I try it. I'm gonna try it, though. Wait, can you send it to me in Discord? It'd be easier if you sent it in Discord. Or, send it to me specifically. DM it to me. That way it's not gonna break my VTuber model. Otherwise, I'm gonna have to... if it breaks my model, I'm gonna have to restart my computer. So, if you could DM it to me, I can play it on stream. Buckle up, everyone. Okay, in the meantime, while we wait for that, I'm gonna go grab some more water, so I'll be right back. I might take a piss, too. So if I'm gone for a little longer than I expect, that's why. But I shouldn't be any longer than 2 minutes. I'll be right back. BRB.
Bruh.
Alrighty, I'm back. Ah. Thank you again, Giggles, for the hydrate. But yes, hydrate. I hope Taku adds this guy's voice as a points redeem. That'd be hilarious. Eris says, so the voice note is the same guy you're seeing now, or a guy from... I think it's just someone that she matched with. I don't even know if she went on a date with this guy. I'm gonna pull it up. Is there a way for me to... Wait. Okay, I'm gonna check my sound real quick before I play it. I still have to piss, though. Okay, I think I got it. You guys ready? Brace yourself. I don't know how loud this is gonna be, so sorry if this is too loud. Giggle says, a different guy I unmatched after he sent it. Here we go.
You've also got me out here wondering what your lips taste like. Not gonna lie.
Yikes. It's like almost unintelligible gibberish at the beginning. I'll play it again.
You've also got me out here wondering what your lips taste like. Not gonna lie.
Is that loud enough? Yikes. I'm gonna turn it up just in case. 11.7. One more time.
You've also got me out here wondering what your lips taste like. Not gonna lie.
You also got me out here wondering what your lips taste like, not gonna lie.
You've also got me out here wondering what your lips taste like. Not gonna lie.
Secondhand cringe. I can't take it anymore. Make it stop.
You've also got me out here wondering what your lips taste like. Not gonna lie.
Okay, that's enough. I'm starting to feel it now. But yeah, that when you have no shame, secondhand embarrassment. I don't know, dude. That... Can you imagine? You're trying to send a seductive voice message and then you get flamed on someone else's live stream. He sent a seductive voice message. Little does he know he's getting flamed live on Twitch. Anyways. Big yikes. Plumbing. I need an adult. You are an adult. An adultier adult. I need a real adult. You're like 80 years old. I need a 100-year-old. Error says, why does it sound like he's under the bed sheets like he's hiding? Ooh, Taku, no more, no more. You got me under these bed sheets wondering what your lips taste like. I've been hiding here since yesterday. And why is he hiding? Who's he hiding from? Like, ew. Yeah, that guy is... Ooh. I don't know, man. You know, you say that to your boyfriend, girlfriend, whatever. You guys known each other, you guys are in a relationship, whatever. But if you don't know each other like that, that's kind of a... It's a wild introduction. It's a wild introduction. You've known him for all of 5 minutes. And you've apparently, quote, got him out here wondering what your lips taste like. Probably tastes like spit. But he doesn't know that. Well, the trash takes itself out. Thank you for identifying yourself as someone I do not want to be matched with. Have a good day. And I hope you find who you're looking for. Bye-bye. Yikes. Out of the gate, first impression with the voice note. I think the blurb thing I have, it's only for, like, sound bites as part of Blurp's website. So I'm not really sure how I could get this... Excuse me. I'm not really sure how I could get this to play on command. You guys want to hear it at max volume?
You've also got me out here wondering what your lips taste like. I'm not gonna lie.
It gets funnier. It gets funnier every time. I don't think... I mean, in a way, everyone does have an accent. He's Australian? I don't... Is he?
You've also got me out here wondering what your lips taste like. I'm not gonna lie.
I guess so.
You've also got me out here wondering what your lips taste like. I'm not gonna lie.
You've also got me out here wondering what your lips taste like. Not gonna lie. He's from Tennessee. He sounds like one of my former friends. That'd be funny. Small world. Mouse will be like, you know, I saw this stream where, you know, you really sounded almost exactly like the guy from the video. And it turns out that is him. That is. Little did we know. That actually was him. In the flesh. The man, the myth, the legend. Is this walkable? I think we're going to speed up a little bit of time. Your friends be talking to you like this? I don't know, man. Let's see. Locke says, that's why you gotta be careful when what you put out there. Because once it's online, it's forever. I'm glad this one's forever. I get to listen to it to my heart's content.
You've also got me out here wondering what your lips taste like. I'm not gonna lie.
I get to listen to it to my heart's content. All 4 seconds. And it fills me with a joy that I've never felt before. It fills me with whimsy. But to me, no. But that a-hole did talk about doing things like that. Very creepy human. There's a reason he's not my friend anymore. That's understandable. That's understandable. Alistor says, I also love he calls you Giggles. Me? Calling Giggles Giggles? It's just what I do. But Era says, I've had funny... what is this word? Coinky dinks? Like that on Twitch for real. I had a friend of a friend's wife doing her artsy-fartsy channel, and her talking gave away someone's infidelities. The connection was insane. What? Can you elaborate on that? A friend of a friend's wife doing her artsy-fartsy channel. Her talking gave away someone... Okay. Error. Everybody, this is now a error-led stream. Error, I need you to elaborate on the drama. Because that is not a comment you make and just casually, like, go back to talking about something else. I need you to elaborate on that. I need all the details about this infidelity story. This is a spicy meatball. Also, these bristle blossoms aren't forming. We're just gonna uproot these and we're gonna replace them with something else. We'll just put it in the meal wood. Error be like, oh yeah, and there was this infidelity one time, haha. Doesn't elaborate. Brother, please. The details. I don't wish to beg, but I might have to. There we go. No, the guy on the phone says Giggles. Does he? I don't think he does. Does he?
You've also got me out here wondering what your lips taste like. I'm not gonna lie.
You've also got me out here wondering what your lips taste like, not gonna lie. Maybe it's the not gonna lie part that makes it sound like giggles. He recognized recognized her voice from stream. Yeah, it's tea time. You wouldn't believe me if I told you for real? Come on. I believe you now. Let's hear it. I didn't believe it when it was happening, making the connections in real time, my guy. It's gonna be a doozy. Let's hear it. It's tea time. So, Error says, cracking knuckles prior to typing furiously on the keyboard. I think we might be running out of food. No, we'll be okay. Just this refrigerator is kind of low. Is our water good? I think we're fine. We got all these mush bars. Yeah, I think we're running out of energy. There we go. Sorry, the fast forward time in Total War is on the right side, which is why it always confuses me that it's on the left side over here. Error says, truth be told, this is going to be a me story, and it hurt. But let's do this. Oh no! Error, no! You got cheated on, Error? Damn. Never mind, you don't have to tell it if you don't want to tell it. Error, no. Draws in steam from tiles directly below the machine's foundation. Oh, converts sunlight. Nice. Damn, I don't know what we should research next. Power to recharge Sweepy. I don't know. We could drain bottled liquids at the liquid pipes, I guess. I'm awaiting the Ever story. Do that. There we go. And then we should be good for a while. Damn it, dude. I gotta pee now. My sister was using the bathroom when I went over there, so I didn't get a chance to take a leak. But I gotta pee! I gotta pee! Everybody has yucky lungs. Let me try to fix that real quick. Should be ventilation, maybe? Plumbing? Medicine. Reduces polluted dirt, rotting foods, and discarded organics into dirt. Where was that? There was a thing here. There it is, deodorizer. It's for oxygen. Whoopsie. Everything just smells like piss, I guess. Era says, I was seeing this guy in San Francisco. He was a sous chef, and we have been together for over a year. And truth be told, I kind of knew it wasn't going to work out anyways, but a positive eventual ending in friendship. I do not live in San Francisco. I live like 2 to 3 hours away. However, that was not how it ended. Oh, no. Oh. This is a juicy one. I'm sorry, Era. Oh shoot, should I do the power that way? No, we'll just do it that way for now. Alistair says, yucky lungs from breathing polluted O2 goes away on its own. Shoot. Okay, maybe I'm using a deodorizer for no reason then. I can remove that later. Error says, I met all his close friends. Excuse me. I met all his close friends and even had gifted his mom a neat gift. Group video chatted with his friends and family, whole type of thing. So I knew I knew who he was, or so I thought, but one piece of advice I was given long ago, never date a chef. I did not listen. Now I know why. I've never heard that advice before. The reason being, like, cheating? Or like, I would imagine a stressful work environment. That's gotta be stressful. That kind of work. Once you said chef, I said, oh no. Has everybody heard about the chef thing but me? I haven't heard that one before. Locked says, here's one for you. Don't date nurses. Same concept. I second this. Oh, so Locked, Mouse is a paramedic, by the way. Just for context. But yeah, that I could see that. I could see that. I feel like nurses get kind of like a bad reputation lately. Makes me kind of sussed. I was gonna say a few months ago, but it's almost a year ago now. I had to get my I had to get a colonoscopy. Now you might be like, Taku, aren't you kind of young for a colonoscopy? Yeah. But I have like a family history of it, so of colon cancer. All roads lead to poop talk. Sorry, I know that's a meme, but like I genuinely don't mean to talk about poop, and here we are. Anyways, but yeah, I do remember like about a year ago, I had to go in for a colonoscopy, and as I understand, they were supposed to put me under before they like put the camera in my butt, and I wasn't under. The nurse put the IV thing in my arm. I guess it was supposed to be mixed with some kind of sedative or something to knock me out. She couldn't find the vein, so she was like stabbing around my... No, she was stabbing around my hand first, because she said that it's like easier when you're on your side, that it's put in your hand in case they need to turn you or something, rather than the arm. So she was digging around my hand with the needle. She couldn't find the vein, and then she started digging around my arm. And then it took her forever to find it. And then after she said it was in, she left it alone. And then I looked at it, and it was just like, the whole thing was, it looked like I was looking at a soda. Like, you know how you're not supposed to have bubbles in your, like, in your, whatever's going into your, like, bloodstream? It looked like it was a soda. And I also didn't pass out, so I'm assuming, first off, that looks kind of dangerous, but second, thankfully, I don't even think it was in my arm correctly, because I was awake the whole time. It was fine. It was fine. Like, nothing about it was all that scary or anything. That or I passed out and I didn't even know, but I don't know. Anyways, sorry, let me catch up. Reputation entirely deserved. Giggle says, chefs, police, firefighters, haven't heard the same about paramedics. Military and pilots are a few to watch out for. I don't know about pilots, really? Error says we had been in a long-distance relationship, so we could only see each other 1 weekend a month for a good amount of time. So it was a pretty steamy situation. Not bad. What's that noise? Oh, research complete. Not bad, not bad. Yes? Locked says, I mean, they aren't all like that, but I've dated two, and they are fun, but it's pretty common knowledge they tend to not be faithful. For nurses. Really? I heard that the nurse stereotype is like, what was it? It was something like mean, with like a, like Mean Girls with like a hero complex or something like that. That was a stereotype I got. That I heard. But Mouse says, unfortunately, as one, EMS is not a great field to find a spouse, current company notwithstanding. Of course, of course. Alistor says, shoot, Giggles, I'm in one of those categories. I guess I'm undateable. It's okay, Alistor. You're married. It's fine. You don't have to date if you're married. Actually, if you're married, do you still need to date? I mean, I guess... probably. Arrow says, however, he did not communicate his frustration with this limited amount of time, so he has plenty of friends, no problems. I'm not a jealous person at all, but the way he had been acting towards... sorry. Towards me? I now know why. His friends are cool and everything. Even met his longtime best friend and his wife, who I think is a cool weirdo, and we connected as friends. So I found her on Twitch, started following her, and genuinely enjoyed her soft-spoken crafting channel, where she did anything and everything. The end. Hold on. What? Oh. Okay, I see the problem now. Even met his longtime best friend. And his wife. Ah. I see. And towards the end. So, was it like you're dating this guy and then you were like, oh sweet, his wife. Or sorry, his best friend, and then you realize that that's his wife? Is that what happened? But there's more, just correcting myself. Okay. And I was military, and you go on dates, but the courtship is different. It's like... well, it's more... I imagine... I'm not married, but I imagine it's like more... you guys just go on dates for fun rather than trying to impress. I think I'd get too in my own head about trying to impress, I feel like. I'm kind of debating if I should I dig my way in there? Maybe I will. Actually, I don't even need to dig my way in there. I can just go the other way. You know, I should probably start moving up, actually. You know what? Here, instead of moving up, I'm gonna start thinking about, instead of moving the pipes up, I'm gonna make new pipes. I think that's what I'll do. We'll make this a little smarter. I gotta pee so bad, dude. I gotta pee. But there's more. I'll just correcting myself. His guy best friend is cool. His wife, he became friends. Neither of these people did anything wrong. Okay. Sorry, I'm just trying to understand the timeline. Juicy details. Juicy details. Mao says, my career field is very full of stressed out people who haven't really dealt with their trauma and self-medicate with alcohol and or relational flings. Look at my ex, who is an EMT. We broke up last December. She's had 2 boyfriends since me. Dang. How do people get into relationships so quick? Are they just, like, really assertive, or... I don't know. I don't think I could get into a relationship that quick if I tried. Please add a piss redeem. Dude, I gotta piss, though. Like, I'm not even joking. I gotta piss, dude. I really gotta piss. I don't wanna break in stream right now, though. I'm not ready! Yet. Wait. Me. Go. That should be fine. And then from there, we'll make another one. Here's what I'll do. I'm gonna make just enough... I got piss, like, so bad all of a sudden. I'm gonna make it so that I have a lot of work for my duplicates to do, and then I'm gonna go take a piss. I'm gonna give them a lot to think about before I go take a piss. Ah, shoot! Wait! Okay, good, I can press back. Good, good, good. Don't do that. That's not a good... Don't do that. Let's go on this side. I think organizationally it makes more sense to go on this side. So, let's, I got this so bad. I gotta pee. I gotta pee. Okay, that's enough for them to think about. I gotta take a piss real quick. Sorry, Eric, hold on. I really gotta take a piss. I'll be right back. Feel free to keep watching. I'll be right back. Oh. Yep, BRB. Alright, my apologies. I was, like, right about to piss myself, so it's all good. Anyways, sorry about that. Let me catch up on a few chats here. Locked says, when I was younger, I did rotate them a bit quicker than I should have, especially between wife 1 and 2. Era says, she was being her polite self on Twitch, and I would enjoy the eccentricity she displayed on her channel. She is a nice person, but to the end of our relationship, he had become very distant and even refused to have me come over as often, citing work schedule. And I was pretty bummed about that. But he hadn't deceived me as of yet. And Brave says, "Are you gonna pour the water from above to your?" I could pour it. I was gonna pipe it, but I could technically pour it. I don't know if there's a quick way to get it in there, but I was gonna pipe it. But yeah, they're working on that. To answer how she's had 2 relationships that fast, my ex is a very aggressive woman who's good at spotting lonely men with little impulse control, which I definitely was during our relationship. Don't worry, been going to therapy, getting better. Nice. I used to be like that, says Giggles. The water may spill around the base. It'll be okay. I hope it'll be okay. I'm gonna... Oh, wait. Well, there's no outlet. There's no outlet yet, so it should be okay. I'll just, sorry. I'll just disconnect this for now, just in case. We'll deconstruct that real quick, and then we'll... Plumbing, water pipe, that? Oh shoot, I should have disconnected this one. Disconnect that one. Glad you're on your healing path. Era says, so as much of a personable person his best friend's wife is, she accidentally divulged information on her channel that led me to believe she might have been talking about another guy friend of hers, but when she mentioned the name, I froze, not believing what I had just heard. She had been handwriting letters to close friends, the sous chef being one of them, with a quill and ink, writing so beautifully and speaking with great admiration towards those she was sending these letters to. Huh? And Taku's gonna come back in like... Can you hear me? Okay. Taku's gonna come back in 15 minutes, and I'm gonna be knocked out. There he is, JK. Yeah, sorry, I'm kind of far behind. Sorry about that. I really had to take a piss, though. Sorry. I'm back, though. Lonely men. Me, IRL. Oh, I'm so lonely. Well, romantically. Socially, I have you guys, which is awesome. Romantically, I'm very lonely. Sorry, I'm trying to... I think I need a chart for... I gotta reread Era's message. I think I'm gonna need, like, a chart. Era says, but who she addressed in the letter was the guy I was seeing, plus another woman, so I just gave him the benefit of the doubt since he was still messaging me as if we were still together. But the letter she was writing suggested that they had been seeing each other for some time already, and that they look forward to seeing each other again. Remember, not me and him and another woman. So me being me, I needed to know what was up, so I had to dig, and dig I did. Oh no. This is a saga, man. This is a saga, wow. I am invested, though. Just a second. There you go. I am invested, though. Keep talking. Keep talking. Joya seed. Oxalite. I'm just gonna go with machinery, I guess. There we go. Let's see. Missiles. Temperature modulation. I don't think temperature's an issue just yet. Decor. We don't need decor yet. Smart battery. Increase power output of generator. Natural gas generator. What? Wait. Smart battery stores power from generators and provides that power to buildings. Sends a green signal or red signal based on the configuration of logic activation parameters. Okay. I'm gonna have to think about that. I'm not sure where to go from here. A sweepy dock would be cool, but I don't... Not really my... Well, whatever. Oh, why not? Of all the things we could make, why not? Why not? We're not... Nothing's really, like, urgent anyways. We're logicking now? I don't know. I'm almost thinking about it, but... It might not be worth it. I think it'll be okay. We do need water, though. We are, like... We're running out of water alarmingly fast. Let me finish this then. Oh, shoot. What else needs to be done? Did I not get rid of these? Uproot those. Oh, shoot. All this piss. Why is there so much piss everywhere all the time? Error says, I have always been the one to dive deep, and when I am highly involved in a thing I am so desperately wanting to get to the bottom of, for example, a trucker I have seen before snap a pic of his soda to me, and I was able to pinpoint his exact location in another state. Remember, folks, the more you talk and share, the more information you give up to those on the internet, but that is one. That one is a story for another time. I will say that I have needed to tone it down over the years when it comes to that. Yeah, curiosity. No shame in being curious. There's no shame in being curious. I am surprised you managed to find somebody that with so little information, though. Here we go. Let's speed things up a little. I'm hoping that we manage to... Oh, dude. We might run out of water. Yeah, we're gonna run out of water. That's crazy. We are going to run out of water. I thought I gave this place a lot of water, but it turns out I didn't. Oh, there's breathable air up here, though. They should be fine. They are going to have to work fast, though. If they want food to eat, they're going to have to work fast. Eris says, even my best friend of many years was shocked with that soda pick story. You'd be good at GeoGuessr, though, it seems. You do seem like you'd be good at GeoGuessr. Just a second. Liquid pump. I want to put it right here, but I'm waiting for them to clear that area first. That's a leap to GeoGuessr. Well, I mean, if you manage to pinpoint someone's exact location based on a soda pick, that's a GeoGuessr kind of person. Locke says, you would be surprised at how easy it is to track information online now. I had someone in a game threaten my kids one time, so I sent him a picture of his front door from Google Maps. You know, a little chaotic, but what goes around comes around. No one should be threatening kids, so... But yeah, it really is easy to... It is pretty easy to find people nowadays, so... I do try to generally be kind of tight-lipped on my personal information. As you should. As you should. Oh, that was the problem. Bristle Blossom was automatically selected. I needed to change it. That's why it was... I thought I changed it, so... That's why it wasn't working. Okay. We're speeding things up. We're gonna run out of calories. I really need them to work harder to get some water, because right now... We're expanding at a good rate, though, I think. We are expanding at a very good, sustainable rate, I feel. I'm gonna try not to assign too many tasks right now, because I really need them to get the water first. There's a lot of tasks to do, so they're gonna be running around for a while. They've got a ton of work, including this. This is like an insane amount of work for them to do. So hopefully they get on that. But I think they recognize how how much there is to do right now. Actually, this is the lowest point. I should probably get them to dig that. Well, I could. Okay, so here's what I'm thinking. I could manage to pump more water if I were to... If I were to... This is really rough, but... let me make more terrariums down here. If I manage to dig further and then go to the right, I think I could make the water come in, and then I could suck the water out. So... But Error says, so when he sparked my internet sleuthness, I went to town, and after he had mentioned before, more than a couple times, someone he had talked with that he thought was interesting, what she was up to, and when I found out that he had gone on a week's vacation to 2 states over with a group of friends, again, I don't care what he does, but don't lie to me, dude, one of the women there was someone he had vaguely mentioned that time or two before, and looking into her whereabouts during that time... yes. If I ever need a PI... I know who to call. Hold on. Is that right? There we go. That should be good now. And once I take care of that, I can put the water thing in. Good, good, excellent, excellent. And then we'll have this... We'll have this take out all the carbon dioxide down there. So hopefully they have some breathable air to do the tunneling later. That should be good. Aries says, only sending a pic to him for threatening your kids. I know you had a plan B and C just cuz. Yeah, I would be furious if that happened to my kids, if I had kids. Liquid pump. Alright, we're making some good progress. Brave says, I never imagined that lack of water pushed you quite a bit into the game. For my case, went and made a new colony, looked for a solution before I was out of water. I'm just going through water really quick. I don't know. Maybe I need to make lice loaf? Meal lice. Tofu. No ingredients discovered. Meal lice. Oh, that's the other thing. Or meal... Oh, no. Mealwoods produce meal lice. Okay. So how's about, instead of that, let's... Can I... Make some lice loaf, then. I want lice loaf. We still need water, but that's fine. Here's what I'll do. I'll only make one of them mush bar. Because I want to see them make a lice loaf. I want to see if someone's going to do it. Might have to wait a little while, though. Ah, shoot, wait. Is the water going? Ah, damn it, I forgot. The water should be going, but I never connected the power to it. So ultimately, it's not gonna be taking anything in. Damn, I forgot about that. That's not good. Nah! Forgot I put that there. I'm from Alabama, so... and Locked says, I've added this to my wish list. This looks like the kind of game I'd like to fiddle with. Maybe when I hit my payout threshold here, I'll get it. Nice. I would say... This is a general PSA to everybody, but... the Steam Summer Sale, I believe, starts in June 22nd. So I would highly recommend, you know, wishlisting all the games you want so that you can buy it during the sale. But I do want to pick up this game. I picked it up for like $7, I think. What? conducive wire. Weird. Anyways, but yeah, I picked it up for like $8, and I think I'm gonna pick it up with all the DLC later. But yeah, this game and Total War Warhammer are my current obsessions. So, I will say this game is very, very good. And originally, this kind of game is actually not really a, like... Ah, shoot. Damn it. This game is not really the kind of game that I would normally get. This is very much outside of my, like, wheelhouse. So, the fact that I like it when I usually don't play this kind of thing, I think, says a lot about the quality of the game. Anyways. Brave says, there is a new open beta of new DLC for Oni. I would wait till it's out. Okay. When is it coming out? When is that coming out? Otherwise, I'm going to be waiting a while. I might be waiting. When? I have no idea. Okay. I might just pick it up. Or pick up all the DLC on sale. Let's make it easy for myself. At least that way I don't need to think about sales for a while. I wanted to get all the DLC for this game, and then I wanted to get Mountain Blade Bannerlord and Mountain Blade Warband as well. I don't know if you guys play any of those, but I've been getting really into games where I like giving orders, and I like watching my guys do work based on my orders. And it kind of seems like, well, Total War Warhammer is one of those things, but this game as well, and I think Mountain Blade Bannerlord is probably another thing I'd be interested in, so that's kind of where we're at right now. What I'm thinking about. But Era says, so I asked him up front, and he didn't have anything. Oh, thank you for the raid, Miyu. Welcome in. Hello, everyone. It is me, the Taku Tetra. Today we are playing Oxygen Not Included. Thank you so much for the raid. Thank you. Much appreciated. Welcome in, everybody. Welcome in. Miyu, how's it going? You were playing Death Stranding, right? Welcome in. We were talking about Era's unfortunate happenstance with cheating. But welcome in, Miyu. How's it going? Era says, so I asked him up front, and he didn't have anything to say for himself since it was confirmed through the internet findings I saw of them together, and referencing the messages he was sending me during the time he was with her. Maybe they weren't together yet. Or maybe I shouldn't have been so damn blind. I will say I was heartbroken, and we haven't spoken since, but I left it with him that if there was an end-of-the-world type outcome, I could still count on him a bit. The super weird part on my end was the part that convinced me the most was a dream of his deception. I'm a big dreams have big meaning type person. You had a dream of him deceiving you? I used to believe in dreams as like for superstition. I believe in them more now, not so much like to predict the future, but I believe of them to be like indicators of how you feel in your personal life. Okay, I'm gonna take the pipsqueak just because I can. We don't really need more people right now. I'm taking the pipsqueak. But nice. Thank you for sharing, Error. Thank you for sharing. And oh boy. Brave says, yes, my lord, more work? Off I go then. I do like Warcraft 3 lines. You know, I haven't played Warcraft 3, and I've been, I talked to my boss at work about games, and my boss was mentioning StarCraft. I've never played StarCraft, but I also hear good things about StarCraft. And another coworker of mine was saying something like, he compares all RTS to StarCraft, I think. I think it was StarCraft. And if it's not as good as StarCraft, then it's not good. Basically, it's kind of his opinion. But always on Mondays, and how's it going? It's going good. It's going good. We're just hanging out, playing some Oxygen Not Included. Today's a bit of a yap sesh, so we're just talking about anything and everything, really. So, oh, you want to hear something? Here, take a listen. So, Giggles matched with a guy on a dating app, and the guy decided to send a seductive voice message. Here, take a listen. Have a little listen.
You've also got me out here wondering what your lips taste like. I'm not gonna lie.
You've also got me out here wondering what your lips taste like. Not gonna lie.
You've also got me out here wondering what your lips taste like. I'm not gonna lie.
Yikes. Anyways, but yeah, we were talking about that too. It's pretty funny though. You send one seductive attempt voice message and you get flamed by a random live stream on Twitch. Ooh. Yikes. Anyways, but Era says, got a million more, ugh. It wasn't quite clear cut, but more or less it showed me that he was not who we thought he was. I think dreams are a way for your subconscious to tell you what's up and super cool. So true. So true. I remember I used to get, what was it? It was like dreams about where I'd like run through water. Or anytime I try to like run, I need to be somewhere, but anytime I try to run, I run really slow. It's supposed to be indicative of like, you kind of feel like you're not, you kind of feel like you're not getting anywhere in life or something like that. This is when I was like jobless after college. Something like you feel subconsciously like you're not where you should be in life, or you're not getting anywhere fast enough or something like that. And then after I got a job, those dreams stopped. So it's pretty interesting. I do dream every night though. Every night. I pretty much never go to sleep without dreaming. It's kind of whack. Kind of whack. My dreams are kind of nonsense lately though. They don't really seem to have a rhyme or reason. So, anyways. But bruh, Lamau. That voice trying too hard. Isn't it so good though? Isn't it so good?
You've also got me out here wondering what your lips taste like. I'm not gonna lie.
I can hear the spit in his mouth. I can hear the spit in his mouth. I hear it sloshing around. Anyways. But it sucks that I don't dream much. Actually, more nightmares than good dreams. Error, no! Locked says, my subconscious has issues. Then again, I have a thing for short horror stories and tend to listen to narrations when laying down. Dude, I love watching true crime, but I can't watch it in long bursts. I start to get, like... If I watch it for too many days in a row, I'll start to get kind of, like... depressed. And then if I would look at too much, like, video game gore, I can't handle real-life gore. Real-life... Anything that involves, like real life, I can't handle, but video game gore, if I play too much like Gears of War or something, I'll start getting nightmares about like gore. It's pretty scary. Anyways, Era says, I think that's cool, Taku. Do you have a dream journal? Just curious. I don't. I do not. And it's all because I'm too lazy to write. I'm way too lazy to be writing. But it would be nice to have like a log of it though. It would be really nice to have a log of all that, but I don't, unfortunately. But Brave says, is it nice to have a dream every sleep? I sometimes have, sometimes not. Really lucid, even more rare sleep paralysis. Dude, sleep paralysis, that one, like... That one is the one that scares me. I haven't had it... No, actually, no. Okay, I feel like I might have had it, but I'm not entirely sure if I did or did not. I've described it on stream before, and people said it was, but I don't think it is. Anyways, so I used to... So after college, right? I used to live alone for a while, right? In my own apartment unit. And I wouldn't sleep very deeply because if someone broke in, I would have to be ready to like throw down at any given moment. So I wouldn't like fall asleep that heavily. Like my subconscious knows that like if a pin drops, I gotta wake up, right? So there's been like once or twice where I've been lying in bed. I remember I was like lying on my back, and at the foot of my bed was a closet, right? And I was lying on my back, and I was kind of like looking like down towards my feet, towards the closet. And I remember I thought I saw like a shadowy figure like peeking out from like behind the closet door. And I remember kind of feeling like I needed to like get ready to fight, but I kind of like had my eyes like partially open, but I was also kind of like asleep at the same time. But I also like, I don't know if I couldn't move or if I was just kind of like waiting to wait for that person to make the first move. I don't know. But I guess that's the closest I've gotten to like sleep paralysis. But I do sorry, to answer the question, Brave. Is it nice to have a dream every sleep? It doesn't bother me. It doesn't bother me. I'm fine. It kind of depends on what it is. If I'm really dehydrated when I go to sleep, then my dreams tend to be more like nonsense. And I start to get like a little delusional when I'm like dehydrated and having dreams. Like, I don't know. Like, I guess the most recent time I've been really into Total War lately, so I have this fan that blows on me when I sleep, and usually, as you guys know, I'm a mouth breather. So I'm breathing with my mouth open. It's drying out my mouth, so I get dehydrated faster. I had this like kind of half delusion that I was like actively playing Total War, and I had to like defend my castle and like plan for attack. And in that way, it's kind of just like a disturbance to my sleep, but for the most part, it's not too bad. If I'm like well hydrated, I fall asleep, I have a dream, it's fine. But Locked says, horror doesn't really faze me. I used to write short horror pretty regularly. Nice. Where did you write it to, Locked? And Miyu says, 127 hours freaks me the F out. What's 127 hours? Sorry I'm getting to messages kind of late, but what is 127 hours? I occasionally get nightmares about bad scenes I've been on. Yikes. Yeah, when it comes to like not real stuff, like anything fake I can handle, but like the real life stuff I can't handle. Like fake gore, I'm not a big fan of. Real life gore, I'm like, nope. I'm gonna be traumatized. But Brave says, when I got lucid, I realized I'm dreaming, so I decided to sleep and end the dream. I end my dream like a button to stop streaming. I don't know if I've ever had like true lucid dream where I'm like really awake. I've had I don't remember having a dream where I've like recognized that I'm asleep. At least not like recently. And when I do, I think when I did a while ago, it wasn't enough for me to like control the dream. There have been times where I have really vivid dreams though. Like I remember a few dreams I've been in. I remember there was like this wood table, and I remember putting my hand on the wood table, and I could feel like all the like wood, the smallest wood ridges on the table. It felt like my actual the table I stream on, and I could feel like all the detail in like all my fingers on the table in the dream. It was so cool, kind of scary too, because you don't really know where you fell asleep. But anyways, but yeah, Error says, I appreciate y'all listening. I don't want to make this all about me, just making this interesting. And TBH, I've been cheated on so many times that sharing doesn't faze me, just as long as I can warn others about certain folks. And I second piss redeem. And I applaud you, sir. Going to therapy to better yourself is admirable, Mouse. And still, though, I mean, I found someone who was catfishing on Whisper. Same guy twice. What? But thank you for sharing, Error. Thank you for sharing. That was all I was hoping for from a story and more. Thank you for sharing. Locked says, I posted to the Creepypasta Wiki. I wrote about 43 of them. A few of them have been picked up by YouTube narrators. Nice. And that's wild. What is Whisper? Is that like a dating app? Miyu says, 127 Hours was that movie with James Franco. It was based off a real story. Dude went hiking in the desert, didn't tell anyone, had a boulder crush his arm. Oh, I remember this. I didn't watch the movie, but I saw a clip. Had a boulder crush his arm and pinned him there. Ended up having to cut his arm off to survive. The scene made me throw up, and I'm usually pretty good with gore. Yikes. Yeah, anything with, like, being trapped somewhere and having to, like, you know, mutilate to escape, it's like, oh, yikes. Gigantic yikes. Wait, hold on. Can you... Was this something you could always do? You just, like, pick... Does it go, like, one after the other? Interesting. I didn't know you could do that. But Whisper is definitely not a dating app. That's what makes it super weird. I found someone catfishing. What the heck? What is it? And so I swore off camping. You'll probably be alright with friends. You'll probably be alright. The thing I'm more afraid of is, like, wildlife and people. If I'm going camping, I'm gonna bring, like, a lot of people with me. I remember I saw this one story on YouTube about there was this elderly couple that were they were retired and they were living in the forest, or sorry, they were camping in the forest out of their van, and they were looking for this really rare flower. So they were, like, trying to scour through the forest in their retirement to find the flower. Anyways, some random guy showed up and just killed them. For money, you ask? For any other purpose that has reason? No. He literally killed them just cuz. There was no reason. Like, he went to court, no reason. He literally just killed them just because he could. It was actually bonkers. So, it's like, moments like that, I'm like, yeah, I think I'd like to go camping if there's going to be a lot of people there. So, kind of sketch. Anyways, that's my story. Brave says, that escalated quickly, yeah. It's, wasn't a very happy tale, sorry. Not the happiest of tales, unfortunately. But Locke says, I've had some messed up nightmares involving people I care about getting hurt. The ones that bother me most are the ones where I'm the cause of it. I know it's probably my mind thinking I'm not good enough, but it's still jarring. You are good enough. You're good enough. But I get it, though. I get what you're saying. It's hard to feel when you feel inadequate. I get you. I hope that Draco's not hostile. That is so nasty. What is that? Ew. It's kind of cute and kind of gross at the same time. Excuse me. Error says, I can't sleep soundly while out camping. I will just not sleep. Are you kidding me? I wake up fully conscious, ready to go at the slightest breeze. I get you. I get you. I would be too afraid if I were you. But, yeah. I don't know. It kind of depends where I am. It depends what I'm doing. It all depends. It depends, it depends, it depends. I don't know how far we are from the surface. Shoot, why is there so much polluted air everywhere? Just a second. I think I'll do one of these. There we go. We'll try that for now. And if you search my name, O0 on YouTube, you will find my stories. Oh, okay. Now we're talking. Love creepypasta. And I have 2 sleep modes, work and home. If I'm napping on shift, the smallest noise wakes me. At home, I can sleep through almost anything. Yeah, that's real. That's real. The ability to turn it on and off. Somebody die recently? I even recognize those people. Actually, you know what's an untapped resource? Maybe I should have went to the polluted water. We can make clean water. We just need the polluted water. Actually, I raise an excellent point. Thank you, me. I raise an excellent point. If I just cut the polluted water, I could just make another pipe going this way and then... Yeah, what am I doing? I guess that's a good thing. LOL. And aren't you supposed to nap on shift? Well, you can nap without, like, being fully asleep, I guess. Alright, so aren't you not supposed to nap on shift? I feel like firefighters do that, though, don't they? Maybe not nap, but they kind of like, they live at the fire station or something. For like several days in a row, or I'm not a firefighter, so I don't know, but like I'm pretty sure they live at the station for like however long, and they're kind of just like on call. It's something like four days on call and like 3 days off or something like that. I don't know what it actually is, but something to that effect. Let's make a new pipe. We need water. I'm being driven by water right now. That work? That should be fine. I don't know if that's hostile. I think it is. Looking for food. Wild. They should be fine. Dream interpretation is super interesting to me, so like, you causing the harm is jarring for anyone, but it typically doesn't mean that you harmed that at all, kinda. And I'm sure as an EMT they grab naps when they are able. Don't you have like 12-hour shifts? I do 12, some 8. Dude, 24s that's too long. I mean, I understand the necessity of it all, but like, that is way too long. A lot of medical staff even have on-call rooms with beds so they can nap. Nice. You know, I don't know how true this is, but I heard there's like a... I could have sworn I've seen a video on YouTube about like some airplanes have like a secret compartment for the flight attendants to... They have like beds so they can take naps on long flights or something. That's pretty cool. Maybe not all airplanes, but... Era says, right, that's a survival skill right there. I'm the same way. I sleep like the dead at home in my safe space, but outside I cannot sleep peacefully. And that's rough mouse. More to you. So true. I can sleep almost anywhere. I had a teacher once get mad. I fell asleep in class and told me to stand up to try to keep me awake. I fell asleep standing up. Nice. Very nice. The thing I wish I could do is sleep... Is be in control of when I sleep, because I had a... my old roommate, he was saying that, what was it? He said something one day, like, he said something like, I don't understand, he doesn't understand why people fall asleep in class, because they should just simply stay awake. And in my mind, I'm like when I start to fall asleep in somewhere I'm not supposed to fall asleep, it's not because I choose to fall asleep. I start falling asleep. That's just kind of how it is. So I guess for him, he just like sleeps on command or something. I don't know. That was one of the most one of the weirdest things I've heard. How are you not? How are you doing all that? Also, it's kind of occurring to me now that my lack of water might be because I have a million algae machines. That might be my problem. I'm gonna get rid of some. Get rid of this one. If I don't need it, I should probably get rid of it. Ah, shoot, I think I picked the wrong thing. Deconstruct the... Go. And then this is kind of unnecessary, too. Is that even working? I can't tell. Anyways. Sending you good juju. And Brain says sleep. I sleep. Which is why I'm still awake at 2 a.m. Me IRL. Actually, I am a bit overtime. I should probably think about ending soon. Yeah, I kind of overtalked last time. I'm still, like, sleep deprived. I made a huge mistake on Saturday. I've said this before, but, like, I woke up, I was tired, so I grabbed a, like, Dunkin' Donuts espresso. It's like a tall can out of the fridge. And I was walking to my bedroom, and my mom was like, "You shouldn't drink the whole thing. It's too strong." So I poured out half. I drank half on stream on Saturday. I was still tired, so I was like, oh, I'm gonna go grab the other half. I drank the rest of it. I finally felt awake. And then that night, I had such a hard time sleeping. I, like, officially knocked out around, like, 2 a.m. or something, but that's still kind of late for me. And then the sleep I did get was pretty terrible. So I'm still kind of sleep deprived. It's kind of rough. Anyways. With all that being said, I should probably start thinking about sleeping. But for those of you that are new, we're working on a lot of things on the channel currently. And the Discord is the best place to find what it is that I'm doing at any given moment. I have an events tab that shows exactly what stream I have planned, exactly what time in your time zone. No pressure to join the Discord, but if you're interested in the schedule, that's where you'll find it. This week, Oxygen not included today and Wednesday, same time frame. Friday is a mix of the Division 2 for the first half of the stream. Oh, too late, already did. Thank you, Locked. Thank you. Thank you for joining. The first half of Friday's stream is going to be the Division 2. The second half is going to be Dark Tide. Both of those are open invite on a first-come, first-served basis. You are more than welcome to join. You are encouraged to join, in fact. So if you'd like to join the Division 2 and or Dark Tide, please join. Saturday, I don't think I put it on the schedule yet, but I think Saturday is going to be Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. We're just going to continue that. And then Sunday, we're nearing the end of Red Dead Redemption 1, so I'm going to probably do that on Sunday as well. But yeah, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, nighttime streams. Saturday, Sunday, daytime streams. Unless I do a collab. I know Gecko was looking for a collab sometime. She invited me, but I happened to have the JT collab at the same time slot, so that didn't work out this past weekend. But we'll figure it out. But which way is D2? Friday? Yes. So we're going to do the same thing. The first half of the stream will be Division 2, and then the second half I'll switch that as Dark Tide as well. So it'll be a half-half. So yeah. Which is kind of rough. I feel like Division 2, a 3-hour stream seems kind of long, but an hour and a half seems kind of short. And then same thing with Dark Tide. I'm like, 3 hours is too long. 1.5 is too short. But hopefully that works out best. But Eris said, sounds good. I'll try to be there on time, sire. Thank you, Error. Thank you. But thank you guys for a wonderful stream. It's nice seeing all of you and talking with all of you. So thank you all for joining me tonight. I very, very much appreciate all of you. So thank you all for, for stopping by, hanging out, chatting. And we can continue this conversation on Wednesday. And hopefully by then, I'll be coughing less. We shall see. But thanks, everybody. Thank you to... Let me go back to the title screen first before I named this world Taku Third Time Charm. I don't know if you can see that, but... Anyways. Take care of your voice, Taku. Thank you, Error. I'll do my best. But yeah, thank you, guys. I'm going to try to say all my thank yous. My sincerest apologies if I miss you. But thank you, Error. Error. Brave. Locked. Thank you. Giggles. Ruby. Alistor. Thank you. Mouse. Thank you for the resub. Thank you. Thank you, Miyu, for the raid. Thank you. Much appreciated. Thank you to Whipple Waffle. Thank you. Much appreciated. Thank you to Patriot. Much appreciated. Thank you to Stefan. Much appreciated. And I think that's everyone. I hope it's everyone. And thank you to any lurkers out there as well. But nice seeing you as always. Thank you so much for the wonderful talk. And I hope to catch you guys on Wednesday. We will be continuing more Oxygen Not Included. So, hope to see you guys there. But yeah, have a... Hold on. I'm going to check to see if there's anybody we can raid. I'll throw you guys at the JT's channel, I suppose. We'll do that for tonight. Thank you, Locked, as well. Did I say thank you, Locked? I did, right? I think I said Error, Brave, and Locked. Yeah, I did. I know for sure I did. Alright. Appreciate you all, especially Taku, for bringing us all together. No, thank you, Error. It's folks like you that make the stream, so thank you all. But yeah, have a wonderful night, everybody. Feel free to stick around for the raid. Up to you. But yeah, have a wonderful night. Good night.